You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere. This is your WMDX Daily News Roundup for Mad Radio 92.7 FM and 1580 AM in Madison.
For 92.7 WMDX News, I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. We've been talking a lot about the potential cuts to Medicare, but already some services are on the line. Federal funding for some Wisconsin hospitals is at stake if Congress doesn't take action soon. Jimmy Kuska reports.
Coverage for home-to-health and telehealth programs under Medicare used by several Wisconsin hospitals will expire at the end of the month unless Congress extends the benefits. 6 Wisconsin hospitals rely on home-to-health for patient care, while 16 hospitals utilize the telehealth and other programs that are also set to expire, mostly affecting providers in the state's rural areas. The Wisconsin Hospital Association estimates the federal funding lost if the programs expire to be around $200 million.
Now, if Congress does not extend the program by April 1st, hospitals won't be able to take on as many patients. That means people would have longer drives to find health care, especially for older people in rural areas. Meanwhile, Madison's Children's Hospital is expanding. American Family Children's Hospital is adding a cardiac ICU and regular ICU. They've had a 46% increase in cardiac cases over the last 3 years. When the building went up in 2007, they left the 6th floor open for future expansion, and now is that time. That will bring the hospital's capacity to 131 beds. In 2023, they had to turn away 100 children because they didn't have the open space. An update on a story we've been following. The U.S. Department of Agriculture will now release money to Wisconsin farmers previously left in the lurch by the Trump administration. The Dairy Business Initiative program is a law sponsored by Senator Tammy Baldwin. It allowed dairy farmers to get grants on projects that would modernize their operations and provide more jobs. 88 dairy businesses across the Midwest have been awarded those grants, totaling more than $6 million. Many of them started those projects knowing they would later be reimbursed by the federal government. But the Trump administration ordered the USDA not to release the money. There's been a lot of back and forth since then. Now Baldwin says the USDA secretary has agreed to reverse course, and the 30 dairy businesses across the Badger State will get that money they were counting on. And when it comes to oil and gas prices, all eyes are on tariffs. For our weekly check, here's Melissa Kay.
Gas prices rose 9.5 cents in the last week for an average of $2.90 today. This is 1 cent lower than a month ago and 31.8 cents lower than this time last year. Officials at Gas Buddy say that caution is playing a role in keeping prices lower. Concerns about the direction of the economy could have a major influence on fuel prices in the months ahead, especially with the high level of uncertainty surrounding tariffs. OPEC Plus announced they would gradually begin restoring oil production after nearly 2 years of cuts. This will add further downward pressure on oil prices. Our typical spring increase in prices may not happen or could be smaller than expected.
Meanwhile, a big achievement. Sun Prairie is the first municipality in Wisconsin to achieve 100% renewable energy. That means all city buildings, even the water treatment plant, run on clean power. They use a mix of their own solar and blocks from Wisconsin Public Power. And you can thank the weather and some city employees. The golf season has officially begun here in the city of Madison. Odana Hills Golf Course and Monona Golf Course are now open. For now, they're walking only. They do have push carts. Things are just a little too wet to allow golf carts on the green just yet. The Glen and Yahara Hills are still closed for now. You can go to the City of Madison's golf page to reserve a tee time. I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. You're listening to 92.7 WMDX News.
It's the Bucks and the Pacers. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with Sports NBA. The Bucks in prime time tonight on TNT in Indy, taking on the Pacers. Milwaukee coming off that loss to the Cavaliers, who've now won 14 games in a row. Damian Lillard.
You know, they're having a great season. They're rolling. We didn't play our best game. We respect who they are and what they've done, but we feel great about where we are and our opportunity to win a game.
NFL free agency, the Packers signing 2 players, the 49ers left guard Aaron Banks and Raiders defensive back Nate Ross, both to 4-year contracts. Defensive lineman TJ Slayton leaves Green Bay for Cincinnati, a 2-year deal with the Bengals. Baseball, Brewers with a 7-5 win over the Mariners. Christian Yelich, back from back surgery with a home run. fun.
Yeah, I still think I can play at a pretty high level. I felt like I was playing at a pretty high level last year up until I got hurt, which was unfortunate. It just came on pretty quick. That's how it goes sometimes, but I still think I can do it at a high level, and just got to go out there and do it.
That's Christian Yelich with Sports on Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. New releases in theaters this past weekend all seemed to limp to the finish line for different reasons. Acclaimed director Bong Joon-ho's new film, Mickey 17, did finish first at the box office with $19 million, but that was a bit of a disappointment. The film starring Robert Pattinson cost almost $120 million to make and is not expected to recoup. This was the director's first big studio budget after winning a Best Director Oscar for Parasite 5 years ago. The other new releases were Rule Breakers, which got excellent reviews from critics and even better from audiences, but brought in just $1.5 million at the box office on over 2,000 screens. In the Lost Lands, starring Mila Jovovich and David Bautista, stunk up theaters with barely over $1 million at the gate and terrible reviews. Captain America managed to hang on to the number 2 slot, followed by Last Breath, The Monkey, and Paddington in Peru, which finished in 5th place. Tough week. I was very excited to see Bong Joon-ho's new film, Mickey 17. After big wins on Oscar night 5 years ago, which saw him bring home the Best Director and Best Picture Oscar for Parasite, Joon-ho took a big swing with a big budget on Mickey 17. The film stars Robert Pattinson as Mickey, who is on his 17th life, who tries to figure out if creatures on an ice-covered planet are friends or foes. He uses an annoying voice the entire film, but the film does have a nice message. Ultimately, Mickey 17 was pretty tough to get through. James Bond passed away in 2021 in the film No Time to Die. But did you honestly think that would stop studios from making more Bond movies? Despite speculation that there would be a female Bond, multiple sources report that it is not happening, and 007 will stay male and British. The search continues for who will play 007. Personally, I think it might be time for a chubby Bond who has halitosis and can't get girls. Lady Gaga was the host and musical act of Saturday Night Live this past weekend and took the opportunity to take a shot at her own work. In the opening monologue, Gaga joked that she was happy with the film's Razzie win, an award that goes to real stinker films. She said she doesn't mind because she likes winning things. She also promised the studio audience she would act and sing and not do Joker 3. Hard to believe Todd Phillips made something that has become that much of a joke. Speaking of SNL, Mike Myers can't seem to stay away from his old stomping grounds. The Austin Powers creator showed up again this weekend, playing Elon Musk, who complained about his wealth dropping due to the stock market, and then satirized a meeting in the Oval Office last week where Musk allegedly shouted at Marco Rubio. Myers brought down the house when he morphed into Dr. Evil while playing Musk. Definitely worth a YouTube visit. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
It is going to be quite a bit colder today, mostly sunny with a high of 48 this afternoon. The wind will be north at 5 to 15. Tonight, 29. Tomorrow, sunshine. We bounce back to 56 by Thursday, partly cloudy, 60. We're talking low 70s by Friday. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Outside now, it's 40.
That's your WMDX Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at mad.radio. The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.